Hello, fellow Dragon Ball fans. Welcome to the King's Court. Okay, so Dragon Ball seems to be making a crazy resurgence lately in the mainstream because not only is has Sparking Zero been crushing it in numbers lately. By the way, anyone else loving these grade 8 Vegeta memes? I think my favorite is the DK one. But anyways, not only that, we finally have the return to a weekly uh, Dragon Ball anime, Dragon Ball Daima. Now, I remember last year when the first trailer for Daima dropped, everyone was already writing the series off. Like, everyone was already. I remember a lot of people kept calling it Dragon Ball Rugrats, which I'm not gonna lie, was kind of funny. Kind of still is. So, but personally, I always kept saying, just wait for the first episode and then judge it. We'll see what happens. Because personally, for me, um, I'm the kind of person whenever I get watch a new show, like a new anime, new TV show, stuff like that, I like to give it at least the first 2 or 3 episodes to really decide if I'm going to stick with it. And honestly, but I'm going to be real, this is Dragon Ball, so I already knew I was going to love it. I'm that much of a Dragon Ball nerd. I can't really think of, besides the unholiness of Dragon Ball Evolution, we don't talk about that here on this channel. I'm never going to bring that up again. There hasn't really been a piece of Dragon Ball media I didn't really dislike. Shoot, even those really weird, if you've ever seen them, those really weird Korean live action Dragon Ball movies that came out like in the 90s, even those have some joy to them. I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of entertaining in their own really, it's so bad it's good sort of thing. But, anyways, I wanted to talk about the first episode because it's not every day we get a new Dragon Ball anime, especially lately because ever since Superhero, there hasn't really been like any discussions. Sure, there's been like a couple of chapters since Superhero ended, like the movie when it came out, what, 2 years ago, I think. There's been a couple of chapters of Super, but I think that's also been confirmed that's going to be ending. So who knows what's going to be happening, honestly, with that. So I want to talk about the first episode of Daima, give my thoughts. Really quick, if you're watching this and you haven't already watched it, go watch it because I'll try my best. I'll try my best to avoid major spoilers, but this video is mainly for people who have already seen the first episode. I just want to give my first thoughts, and honestly, I'm already enjoying the series, so any excuse to talk about Dragon Ball, I'm gonna take it. So, that's pretty much everything. So, for now, let's start talking about it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more Dragon Ball videos. If you want to see this like become a regular thing where I talk about every new episode of Daima, let me know in the comments. Like the video so I know there's interest, and I probably will, honestly, because again, I'll take any excuse to talk about Dragon Ball. So, the first episode starts off in the demon realm. Now, I tried my best to avoid spoilers. I'm gonna be real. If you follow our social media, which you want to follow our social medias, we have links to them in the description. I tried my best to avoid any possible spoilers for Daima, mainly because I wanted to go in here really blind and just enjoy it firsthand. So, I didn't even know that at first, honestly, this was going to be a prequel. Like a lot of people, I really thought this was going to take place after Superhero. But then again, now that I think about it, when looking at the trailers for it, we never saw Beerus or Whis, so it makes sense. So, if you've seen this already, you probably already know this series takes place directly after the original Buu arc. So this takes place pretty much exactly after Z. The only thing it excludes is the very final episode of Z or the final chapters of Z if you've read the manga where it has a time skip about I want to say 10 years roughly. Pan is already born. Trunks and Goten are already fully grown. Guess they had that same growth spurt already. And Goku pretty much leaves to go train Oob. So this takes place a lot before that. This takes place directly after Kid Buu is defeated, looks like it. Because it starts off with Trunks' birthday. On Earth it does. The actual episode itself starts off with these two new characters watching firsthand the fight between not only Boo being resurrected, but the fight with Super Buu and Gotenks, and then eventually all the way to Kid Buu being destroyed by the Spirit Bomb, which I'm not gonna lie, anyone else feel like that was some nice, clean animation? Because seriously, through the entire like sequence of events of going on that they were explaining, all the way from Boo being resurrected, all the way to the end of the arc where they defeat Kid Buu. They like updated and like redid a lot of the classic scenes. Boo killing Bobbity, Vegeta blowing himself up to destroy Boo, which didn't even work. The fusion Gotenks. There was so many. The super iconic scene of Goku's speech to Boo, wanting him to come back and like as a better person, which we all know eventually would become Oob. The animation and the artwork on that was just so clean. I'm always hearing people say they want like a reboot of Dragon Ball. I'm gonna be honest. If they redid the original Dragon Ball, because I'm gonna be honest, it may sound like a meme. I've met people who legit like have been going crazy over Sparking Zero. And shoot, if you watch our TCG content, people who've played Dragon Ball Fusion World, who have never seen Dragon Ball, and I've even met someone who's never even seen Z. So people like that do exist. So I know it's crazy to Dragon Ball fanatics, the idea of someone not watching or reading every version of Dragon Ball, all the way from Dragon Ball to Super or GT as well. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When Super ended, I actually rewatched GT. So, but gotta be honest, there are people like that. But if they redid Dragon Ball like this, the original one, I would guarantee you it would just cause a huge resurgence of a huge surge of new Dragon Ball fans. This looked clean. It was amazing. 10 out of 10 animation. But anyways, moving on. So the episode basically opens up with the two new, who I'm assuming are gonna be the new main villains of Daima. Now, it's really funny because constantly they're freaking out because they're honestly not used to like, we've seen the whole mortal thing, like with Goku Black and Zamos, that sort of thing. But this is different. They're not calling them mortals. They're calling them like Outworlders, I think, or something like that. So apparently these are characters from the Demon Realm. Now, I've actually always wondered more about the Demon Realm, like, because if you remember from the Majin Buu arc, they kept saying that Dabura was the king of demons. And I always thought, so does that mean there's more demons? Because this isn't the first time Dragon Ball has had demons. Because if you recall King Piccolo, he was basically, originally everyone thought he was a demon. And apparently, I guess, now really quick, if you're one of those Dragon Ball fans that is obsessed with exact perfect continuity, this show might make you a little angry because there are some pretty big retcons and some pretty big changes. I don't think, though, this show is canon to the main series. I'm pretty sure it's not. I think it's like its own side thing, kind of like a little extra sort of thing. So that I don't think it is, but just the idea of this is pretty crazy. I could be wrong, but I think this might be in the same realm as like Dragon Ball Heroes, which I stopped keeping up with that a while ago because it got a little too crazy. But that's not the point. The point is though, so yeah, they retconned a lot, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So basically, these two new main villains are now one of them is celebrating that Dabura is gone because now he's the new king. For the record, I forgot their names. I'm bad with names. I'll just put their pictures right here. And it seems now, really quick, this is what I meant by spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it and then come back. Please do. I need the views. I've always wanted to say that. But no, really though, I'm going to get into spoilers right now. So if you don't want spoilers and you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and leave now. Now, apparently this new character that looks like the Supreme Kai is the Supreme Kai's older brother, apparently. Now that changes a lot because nowhere in Z or Super or even in GT did they ever mention that there was anyone else. Because if you recall, what originally happened, he was the only candidate left for Supreme Kai. Because if I remember my lore right, it's been a little while since I've read this. Kais are born from special trees in Otherworld, and once every millennia, I think, a golden fruit or something like that from these trees are where Supreme Kais come from. This is also where all the other Kais came from as well. At least King Kai, because I don't think the other Kais are also canon either, because they've only ever been in like movies and anime onlys, like the Otherworld tournament and stuff like that. But that's not the discussion of this. The point is, that's where how Supreme Kais are born. They never said anything where about him having a sibling, so this is a really interesting new thing because I've always wondered this because Old Kai always said he was just like an ancestor of his. I mean, they look exactly alike, so it makes sense. He's some kind of distant relative. But I guess somehow there's more of them, so that's pretty crazy to think about. So, and they're honestly shocked, by the way, of the power that Goku, Vegeta, and all of them have because they never thought that Majin Buu could be defeated by what they're referring to as an Outworlder. So that's honestly crazy to think about because remember, this is taking place during the Majin Buu arc. At this point, in where we are right now with ever since Superhero, Beast and Ultra Instinct Goku, Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultra Ego Vegeta, even Broly, like the main characters of Dragon Ball are on a different complete level. It almost makes me wonder how they react if they knew just how powerful they were. Especially since it seems like Beerus and Whis and all the other angels and Gods of Destruction and Lord Zeno aren't going to be involved in this whatsoever. So it looks like right now, yeah, it makes sense. And that the end of DBZ, Goku, and Vegeta are the strongest right now currently. So that makes sense. So honestly, that's after that, basically it transitions to Trunks' birthday. So it looks like they're keeping that retcon that Saiyans start off small and eventually they go through a big growth spurt around 15. Which isn't exactly what happened, but it's kind of true. Because in original Dragon Ball, Goku, if I remember right, at the beginning was like 11 or something, or 12 or something during Tenkaichi Budokai, if I remember right. It's been a little while since I've seen the original Dragon Ball. Not gonna lie, watching Daima made me really want to rewatch and reread it again, but I'll worry about that later. And it is true that Tenkaichi Budokai is every 5 years, which means he was at least 16, 17 when they met Tien, so... And he was still kind of small then, so I guess it kind of makes sense. If anything, it could just be a reference to the old school art style Goku had. And Gohan himself, that's the weird one because he's gradually been growing throughout Z when his introduction all the way to the end of Z actually. He's gradually kept growing. He's never really stayed really small. Even when he fought Cell, he was still growing because of the whole happened to be in the hyperbolic time chamber, so physically he was older than his actual age. That's why the whole teen Gohan thing is really confusing. So that's one thing right there. Another thing to note is that apparently, now this is another spoiler, so again, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Namekians exist in this demon realm. And apparently once they have their own Namekian, and not only that, their own Dragon Balls. Okay, be honest, anyone who watching this who heard that, did you automatically immediately think Black Star Dragon Balls? Tell me I'm not the only one. So there's now also apparently Namekians are actually demons. That's crazy, actually. That's pretty insane. So they have their own Namekian, who apparently is the one who created their Dragon Balls, which means this guy's older than Guru, which is insane because Kami and Guru are the oldest Namekians that have been introduced to the series so far. So one who's older than him, that's honestly just insane to think about. And this guy is even more powerful because you see later on, this guy not only created his realm's Dragon Balls, but he can literally, when they go to Earth, he can literally make the Earth's Dragon Balls appear in front of him and transformed them from stone to full power. Now, this guy is powerful. The dude looked like some old kook, but this guy's insanely OP because they can literally make a wish whenever they want, basically. So, yeah, this new Namekian is insanely powerful. Speaking of Namekians, Piccolo seems to, now, I noticed this back during Dragon Ball Superhero that the anime seems to actually finally be using the actual manga colors. If anyone watching this doesn't know what I mean, in the Dragon Ball manga, the official original colors are actually different from the ones the anime used. Where Piccolo's muscle areas, I guess you could call them, are like pinkish, they're actually supposed to be like yellowish. And not only that, here's one of the biggest ones. In the flashback to the Majin Buu arc, the inside of Boo's mouth is actually blue. If you've only ever watched Dragon Ball's anime and never read the manga, Majin Buu, completely Fat Buu, Super Buu, Kid Buu, all of them, the inside of their mouth, like everywhere, the entire thing is supposed to be blue. The anime though completely removed that. So it seems like they're actually going with the original manga color, which they started doing at Super. I thought this was like a one-off thing, but it looks like that's what officially the anime is going to start transitioning to. And I'm actually cool with that because I actually kind of like the whole blue mouth thing. I don't know, it kind of gives like Majin Buu like, because Frieza's from an alien tyrant from space. Cell is an artificial android, but like an organic artificial android. But Majin Buu is like magic based, so it kind of gives him like that sense of that magic feel, if you know what I mean. So I'm really cool with that. For the record, if any One Piece fans are also watching this, the same thing happens there. Nico Robin, best girl by the way. In the anime, her eyes are blue, but actually in the manga, they're brown. That's something they changed ever since their introduction. So Dragon Ball is not the only series that does that. So hey, maybe one day we'll see that. But in One Piece. But anyways, back to this. So yeah, these new guys basically are planning to take over the human realm but they're terrified because these guys were able to beat Majin Buu, which is something they couldn't do. Apparently, they even bring up the fact that Deborah, in comparison, was basically just a big fish in a small pond in their realm. So they decide to steal the Earth Dragon Balls and wish everyone to children, because now their power will be down to scale. So, and they're also apparently, now the episode actually ends with them transforming to kids, so we don't see it yet, but apparently there's this new mystical item, like a third eye thing they called it, I think, where it's like some kind of demon relic, which apparently was lost during Deborah's father's reign. So we're getting some backstory on like a lot more than I was expecting. We all know like King Cold and all that, but I never once thought about Deborah's lineage. Every time I think Deborah, I just think how he became in Z, how he got sent to heaven, and now he's all like he's basically kind of like filled with love and stuff. It's kind of funny still, honestly, to think about. So we haven't seen that yet, but apparently that's one of the wishes they're gonna make, because they didn't know that Shenron could grant three wishes now. Because they didn't know that, I guess they didn't know about how the whole Kami thing, and Kami originally made it one, but when Dende became the new god of the earth, he increased Shenron's power to be able to grant three wishes, so they didn't know about that. So there's a lot they don't know. I'm also wondering, are they going to have like the same issue Frieza had during the original Namek arc, where like they couldn't sense ki and energy, because that really gave them a big advantage. I wonder if they'll do something like that as well. We also got introduced to some new characters. This new dude who's blue with white hair, kind of like a mohawk. I now, like I said, I've avoided spoilers, so if you already know who that is, awesome. But I don't, so I'm just gonna leave that, not really say much on that person. Like, probably we'll definitely be seeing some more as the series goes on. And another character I want to go over really quick that was introduced. Apparently, the Supreme Kai also has an older sister. And, oh boy, I can just picture the fan art already. You know there's going to be a lot. People love demon chicks, even though I guess technically she'd be a Kai, but not really. It's confusing. That's another thing. Apparently, they claim like everyone from the everyone with pointy ears are like descendants of the demon realm. Because they said that about the Namekians. Originally, their ancestors are from the demon realm, which I guess would explain their connections to magic. But that totally rewrites the whole thing. And that also brings up the thing with Popo. They even claimed he might have been too. Which, I'm not going to lie, I've actually always wanted to know more about Mr. Popo because I've always wondered, so Majin Buu is a Jin. So is he also a Jin? They've never given backstory to him, so I've always been a little curious on Mr. Popo. I wonder if we'll finally get some more backstory on him. That'd be kind of cool. So yeah, that's the entire episode right there, basically. Avoiding too many spoilers. But again, if you're watching this and you haven't already seen it, just go check it out. It's in all honesty, this is mostly just me fanboying. But if I had to really give my 2 cents, the show does retcon a lot, so if you're one of those people that's obsessed with continuity, it might frustrate you a little bit, but at the same time, I think the show is really enjoyable. And honestly, like most Dragon Ball fans, I'm just really appreciative that Toriyama got to work on one more Dragon Ball project before his unfortunate passing, I think like 6, 7 months ago. Almost a year, actually, if we think about it. Damn. So, I'm gonna keep watching the series. I'm looking forward to future episodes. So if you want to see me like talk, basically do more, I guess fanboy rants. Well, it's not really rants actually, because I didn't really find honestly that many problems. Because no matter what, I'm enjoying the ride. So if you want to just hear me talk about more about Dragon Ball, and also new episodes of Daima when they release, and I can see them because, man, scheduling. But if you want to see more of those, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so I know that there's interest. And let me know in the comments what you thought of the first episode. Do you like it? Do you think you're going to keep up with the series? I'm definitely going to. So that's pretty much it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, like I said, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good weekend. Take care. Bye.